Day 53, these pages are going to be about 10, 12, 15. It depends on where you kind of float your marker. But these are the pages of the climactic action of the tentpole. Now, of course, this is a mini climax, but it better be good. This is where the vast majority of authors lose the reader. Maybe there's a good premise, maybe the readers like the characters, but if you can't pull off a tentpole, why should they continue reading? I know a lot of authors get really upset at readers, like, why aren't you just keep reading? Well, that's not their job to read for you. Your job is to write for them and make it clear that you are going to exceed their expectations. So this tentpole should be intense. Now, you've already written your climax, so you know where you're going there, and you may have developed themes there, you may have needed weapons there, you may have had an emotional argument there. This is a fantastic time to edit your tentpole to match your climax, to be moving up and towards your climax so that you feel like you're moving and that it makes sense. You may have written your tentpole and it may have made sense at the time you wrote your tentpole, but it doesn't line up well with your climax. To preview the climax, to show that you can handle emotion and action and be satisfying. That is what your job is, to satisfy the reader's expectations at this point. At this point, either the villain's major proxy or the villain himself and the hero, this is probably the first time they have gone mano a mano. It needs to look and feel like your hero is going to win. And then guess what? He doesn't. And this is another major error of beginning writers, is you make the hero too successful at this point in the book. On average, that is not what is supposed to happen, that you are not supposed to have the hero be too successful. Now, the exceptions coming to mind is Dodgeball, where they can't lose a game because then they would be out of the tournament. So they win the game, but then the magician is killed and sets them on this dark path. So there's always a dark path. This is a dark, the tentpole leads to a dark moment because inside the tentpole, normally the hero loses. In Dodgeball's case, the hero wins but loses the magician, and that sets up kind of that dark period because they're going to have a dark period of falling off from the tentpole next. This tentpole should be fantastic. You've had a little bit of time and space. Look for genre, besides when you always do, but make sure this is very genre driven and specific. And make sure, unless there's a incredibly compelling reason, like in Dodgeball, they cannot lose a game, make sure that the hero loses. He is supposed to have his hat in his hand. He needs to have his butt kicked, and kicked severely, to set up this next section, which is the holy crap, I'm a loser situation. If he wins, how he's going to have that. And so Dodgeball took care of that by killing the magician, which very often in a tentpole, the magician is lost. He is disabled, he is taken away, he is kidnapped, he is killed. So Dodgeball completed that in a slightly different order than normal because it's a comedy and because of the rules of the story, which is fine. So if you have a super compelling reason, that's fine, but the vast majority of you don't. If you do have a super compelling reason, point to it, circle it on the page why you couldn't have the hero get his butt kicked. So exciting action, whether it's emotional or physical. This should feel like a climax. This should feel like the hero is about to win. That's your goal, is to make this feel big and lush and exciting. Then the hero loses, gets kind of bitch slapped across the face, and sent packing. All right, so those are the pages for today. We'll discuss the falling off of the pages tomorrow. But today, edit, and no matter where you are, you may have to cut and paste 50 pages out to get the tentpole right here. That is what I want you to do. So go ahead, and I want you editing the tentpole today. If you are not to the tentpole today, then you have got some serious overwriting issues, and that's fine. You can deal with that, but this should be where the tentpole is, and the tentpole should be exciting. If it's more exciting than your climax, you have a problem. If it's not exciting at all, if it's less exciting than the turn of the opportunity, turn of Act 1 to Act 2, then you also have a problem. So go and look at that. Go and look at other tent poles. Go read them. Go watch them. Go understand what they should emotionally feel like to the reader, because that's what the reader is looking for, is emotional satisfaction out of your book. Fantastic. I will see you next time.